hope you are fine and doing this study well. First of all, tell me, in the previous session, we have seen the lesson number 9, that is force. So, have you understood each and every topic of that lesson? Yes, students, tell me. And I hope you have understood the each and every topic of that lesson. So, I forward to the lesson number 11, that is a pressure. So, let us start with the introduction, students. Here I have taken the example of nail and hammer. See in this picture, when you hammer an iron nail, you apply a force on the flat surface of this nail. Okay, you apply the force on the flat surface of the nail. What will happen? The pointed side of the nail which is in contact with the wall, then applies the force on the wall and easily pierce it. Okay. Now, by doing this action, students, let me ask you an interesting question, that what will happen if you hammer the pointed side of the nail and try to pierce it, and try to pierce the flat side. See over here. What will happen if you hammer the pointed side of the nail and try to pierce the flat side of the nail? What will happen? See students, you will find that it is really difficult to push the flat face of the nail through the wall. Okay? Even if you apply more and more force that you did in the first case. So, what is the reason behind this? Yes, students. Tell me, what is the reason behind this? See, the reason behind this is the pressure. Okay, so the pressure applied by the tip of the nail on the wall is more than the pressure. See, the pressure which is applied by the tip on the wall is more than the pressure which is applied by the flat surface of the nail on the wall. Okay? But again, one question is arise, why this is so? Why the more pressure is applied by the small area and why the less pressure is applied by the more flat area? Why this is so? See students, first notice that the area of the tip of nail is less. Okay, the area of the tip of the nail is very less as compared to the area of the tip of the flat surface. Okay, so this tells us that the area of surface on which the pressure, on which the force is applied really matters. Again, I repeat students, this activity tells us that the area of the surface on which the force is applied really matters. So we will learn this in detail, but first let us define what is a pressure. Okay students, so from this activity we can define that the pressure, see, pressure adds the perpendicular force acting on the surface of an object per unit area on which it is acting. Okay, again pressure is defined as the perpendicular force acting on the surface of an object per unit area on which it is acting. So, it is easy to force acting per unit area. In small area or in unit area, it is really easy to force. Okay, so we already know that the SI unit of force is Newton, which is denoted by capital N. See in this red color, capital N, and the area is meter square. Okay, so the SI unit of the pressure is Newton per meter square. We have already seen the unit of force in the previous chapter, that is the Newton. Okay, so the SI unit of force is Newton and the area is meter square. So the collectively, so the SI unit of the pressure is Newton per meter square. So it is also called a Pascal. It is also called Pascal, which is denoted by PA. See, capital P, small a. In this fashion it is denoted. So why is it called Pascal? Okay, this also question arises in your mind that why it is called Pascal. See students, it is given this name to the honor of achievement of the French scientist named Blaise Pascal for his contribution in the hydrostatic and the hydrodynamics. Okay, so observe this equation carefully. See, observe this equation carefully. What will happen? Area is in the denominator. See students, area is in the denominator of the fraction. So, what is this area? This is first question. Well, this area is nothing but the area on which the force is applied. Here, we understood that the force is applied on any kind of object, but that object possesses something area. So here the area is nothing but the area on which the force is applied. Okay students, so if I keep the force, see here, if I keep the force constant, if I keep the force constant and increasing the area, what will happen? See students, if I keep this force constant and increases only the area of an object, so what will happen to the pressure? Will the pressure increase or decrease? Yes students, think. Use the pure mathematical logic to answer this students. If we keep constant force and only increase the area, okay, so what will happen in case of pressure, whether it is increased or decreased? Yes students, think mathematically or logically. See students, if I have a fraction and I keep the term in the numerator constant. Suppose I have the fraction 3 upon 5, okay, and I keep the numerator, okay, I keep this term numerator, that is 3, that digit constant, and keep increasing the denominator, the term denominator. So then will the fraction increase or decrease? Think mathematically students first. Again I repeat, if I have a fraction and I keep the numerator constant, I keep the numerator constant and keep increasing the denominator term, that is 5, 6, 7, see over here. Okay, so then will the fraction increase or decrease? Surely will decrease. See in this case 0.6, then 0.5, then 0.43, then 0.37. So the pressure also will decrease. Okay, from this we can say that pressure also will decrease. If I increase the area, okay, this is all about, see, if I increase the area while keeping force constant, the force will also get decreased. Okay, that means in this case we can say that pressure is inversely proportional to the area. Means if the area is increased, at that time the pressure will decreases. Okay, and if the area is less, then the pressure required is more. These are the inversely proportional. Okay, now with this knowledge, let's go back to the example which we have seen in the earlier. That is a hammer and a nail. See these students. What you will see in this example. See the nail and the wall. Okay. Notice that we also applying the force at particular to the surface. See, notice over there. We also apply the force to the at particular to the surface of the nail. Okay, so the angle between the nail, see here, the angle between the nail and the wall is 90 degree. Okay, and nothing any. Students, see, when we apply the force on the any particular surface of the nail, at that time it makes an angle of 90. Okay, so if you notice the tip of, see, if you notice the tip of the nail has very small area. Okay, it makes an angle 90, and if you notice the tip of the nail has very small area as compared to the flat surface of the nail, hence the area of contact with this wall, hence the area of contact of this nail to the wall is very less. Okay, which is very less, so that we can say that there reduces the pressure. Okay, there reduces the pressure. Again students, I repeat, if you notice the tip of the wall, see students, if you notice the tip of the wall, which is very tip of the nail, which is really small, okay, which is really small, at that time what happen, we compare this to the flat surface, okay, flat surface of the nail, hence the area of contact with the wall reduces to great extent. Okay, and in the first case we have seen already that, hence the pressure applied by the tip on the wall, see students, hence the pressure applied by the tip on the wall is greater than the pressure which is applied by the flat surface on the wall. Yes students, got it, all of you? Yes students, tell me, all of you got it? What is the exactly the area, what is the pressure, and how they are interrelated? So that is why it is easy for the tip to pierce into the wall or to penetrate through the wall. So you can even use the drill machines. See students, you can even use the drill machines to hole into the wall. But what is the main construction of that drill machine is? You see that it has a pointed tip for the same reason. Okay, it has also a pointed tip for the same reason. Now you can easily cut the vegetables. Yes students, think this is the example of our daily routine. You can easily cut the vegetables using the cutting edge of the knife. Okay, but what happens to this? But if you use the blunt edge of the knife, see, again you can easily cut the vegetables using this cutting edge of the knife. Okay, but if you use the blunt edge of the knife to cut these vegetables, it will be difficult to penetrate it in. Okay, to penetrate it in. Why it is difficult and what is the reason in this case? See students. Well, in the first case or in the first side of the edge, it might look same to us. See, but if you look at them carefully, see students, if you look at these two ends, blunt edge and cutting edge, carefully, the cutting edge has small triangle like shape. Okay, it is really very sharp, students. It is really very sharp, and in case of blunt edge, that blunt edge is really plain area. Okay, that blunt edge has a plain area. So from this example, what do you think, students? Think about it. Where the pressure is exerted or not, and what happens? Think, students. And from what age we can cut the vegetables easily? Yes, students, think about it. See, students, the other age has nothing of these. So if you cut the vegetables with the cutting edge, first think about this cutting edge. If you cut the vegetable by the cutting edge, the area of contact is reduced here. The area of contact between the vegetable and the knife is reduced over here. Okay, hence the more pressure is applied in that case. Okay, students, hence the more pressure is applied on the vegetables using this cutting edge of the knife. So area which is used to cut the trees. See this example. In this case, when the trees are cut by using this tool, what happened at that time? This tool have a sharp cutting edges. Due to these cutting edges, they can easily apply the force on the trees or on the branches of the trees. Okay, so instead of placid edge, they have a sharp cutting edges which increases the pressure on the tree due to the less area of contact. Here it is also the less area is in contact with this tree. So the examples we have seen so far are the examples we have seen in this case. These are the application of force, the application of pressures. Okay, these are the applications of high pressures, students. Okay, these are the all examples which are the application of high pressures. Now, what is about the low pressure? If you apply the low pressure, what will happen? So let us study about the advantages of the low pressures. Okay, students? So there are the situation where we require a low pressure. Okay, some of the situation where we require the low pressure. So let us see some of these examples. We use snowshoes, okay, to walk on the snow. These are the snowshoes. So we use these snowshoes to walk on the snow. So the reason for that is simple. Why we use these shoes instead of other sport shoes or other shoes? Why? See, students, due to larger area in contact with the snow. Here there occurs a larger area which is in contact with the snow, and the reason for that is, again, think students, the reason for that is which reduces the pressure. Larger area is in contact with this. So here if the area is larger, the pressure is less. if area is more, the pressure is less. So in this case, these snowshoes have the larger area which is in contact with the snow. So in this case, the pressure which is applied over here, it is very reduced. Okay, so reduce the pressure on the snow. So for that, we are able to walk on it without sinking deep these shoes. Okay. Now in the case of normal shoe, so here large area is there. Now if we think about the case of regular shoes, okay, in case of normal shoe, due to comparatively small area, see students, due to comparatively small area in contact, the pressure on the snow is more and it sinks a feet deep inside this snow. Okay, because there is a large area which is in contact. So if area is small, in this case the pressure which required for this is more. Okay students, so these are the advantage of the low pressure. Whenever the area is more, the pressure required is low, and whenever the area is small, the pressure required is more. So note that the force applied on the both case is same. Okay, the force applied in both the case is same. So this force is nothing but the R weight. Okay, the force which we apply in this case is R weight on the snow. Okay students, got it? Now, have you ever wondered about see, what is this? What is this? This is the army tank. Okay students, so have you ever wondered about why the wheels of this army tank run on the steel track rather than on the ground? Why this is so? See, notice that these wheels on the steel track are not really touching to the ground. They are very less in contact with the ground. So this army tank is huge in size, and if the wheels run on the ground, these wheels run on the ground, then due to the less contact area with this ground, this huge army tank can be run. So the pressure on the ground will be more in this case because the contact with this ground is less. However, the tracks has much larger area of contact with the ground, and hence the pressure on the ground is reduced to greater extent. Okay, here you have to remember that only some of the area is in contact with the ground, so that if the area is small, so what will happen? The pressure will be more. Okay, so in all the example that we have seen in this video, what you notice that it is the solid which apply the pressure on the other solid. Okay, in all these cases we have seen that it is the pressure which applied on the other solid. Okay, so what about the liquids? Yes students, what about the liquid? It is the solid which apply pressure on the other solid. Okay, but do liquid also apply the force or apply the pressure? Think about it students. Do liquid apply the pressure? Let us study it. Okay. See student, what is that? See in this picture, it is the wooden block which is on the table. Okay, This is the wooden clock which is on the table and which exerts a pressure on that table by downward. See this action which exerts the pressure on the table by the downward side. Okay students, so when we apply the force or when we apply the pressure over there, what will happen? What will happen students if you apply the, see students, a wooden block which is kept on the table exerts a force on it. Okay, this we know that this wooden block is a solid surface. So what about the liquids? Whether liquid exerts a pressure or not? See, what about liquids? We know that the liquid are kept in a container. Okay, liquids are kept in the containers. So do liquid or the fluids exerts pressure? Yes students, they do. See, why this is so? See, the exert pressure on the base. See, they exerts the pressure on the base and the walls of the container. See here we take an example of bottle which is filled with the water. Now in that case what happens? How this liquid exerts the pressure? Whether that liquid pressure exerts a pressure or not? These are the questions which already have in our mind. So let us do this activity. When we fill this bottle with the full of water, at that time what happens? The water exerts a pressure on the base of the on the base and the wall of this container, okay, or on the wall of this bottle in which they are enclosed. Okay, so the pressure on the base would be downward. So the pressure on the base would be downward and on the wall the pressure will be sideward. In case of wall, the pressure will be sideward. So we can also derive something interesting if we look at the fluid in terms of layers. If we look at this fluid in terms of layer, there are more and more layers. From that layers, this water is seen. So, in this case, let's divide the fluid into the 5 equal parts. You can see that the second layer of the water is holding weight of the first layer. You can see that the second layer of the water is in hold in weight of the first layer. Similarly, in case of third layer hold the weight of the first and second layer, and the fourth, holding the weight of the first top 3 layers, and so on. So clearly the pressure at the bottom is more. Okay, at the bottom layer is more. So here the topmost layer mark a less. Here the topmost layer and the rest of the layer, they can act or they can exert a pressure on the last one layer, that means towards the base. Okay, see, in this case the topmost layer have the less pressure than that of the rest of the, that means the bottom layer have the more pressure if we compare these two layers. Okay, now here the topmost layer make a little hole. From that topmost layer, make a little hole at a side. You see that the water flows out from this water. You see that the water flows out from this bottle. Okay, so So the water flows out from that hole like this. It flows at an something angle. Okay, so now let's make a second hole. Let's make a second hole on the layer, third hole on the layer. So when we makes the second hole on the layer, under it you will see, what you will see? The water. See, you will see that the water flows out at wider angle than that of the previous one. Okay, so if you again hole, or you again make the hole at the third layer, what will happen, students? What will happen? We continue to make the holes on the walls and notice that the water literally squirts out. So this proves that the pressure at the bottom, see students over here, this proves that the pressure on the bottom is much more than that of the pressure at the top. Okay, the pressure at the bottom is much more than that of the pressure at the topmost layer. Okay, so this is all about the liquid which exerts the pressure, on the solids. So what about the upward force which is exerted by the liquid? See in this case, what about the upward force which is exerted by the liquid? That we will see in our upcoming videos. Okay, till then, thank you students. If you have any queries, then ask me. Okay.